Have you ever thought that a small coin, something as ordinary as a Washington $quarter, could secretly be worth a fortune? Imagine checking your old coin jar, your wallet, or even that forgotten drawer, and finding a quarter that collectors are paying hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars for. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true! Some rare Washington quarters hold hidden minting errors, unique dates, and mysterious markings that have turned them into treasures worth more than gold. From quarters struck with double dies and rare mint marks to those minted in special years that changed American coinage forever. Each of these coins has a fascinating story to tell. These are not just pieces of metal, they're pieces of history, carrying tales of mistakes, craftsmanship, and luck that few people ever notice. So before you spend your next quarter, stop and look closely, because that little coin in your hand might be a rare gem worth millions. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable Washington $quarter coins ever found, reveal the secrets behind their shocking prices, and teach you how to identify the ones that can change your life forever. Stay with me till the end, because the next $1 million quarter might be hiding right in your pocket. Now let's dive into the incredible world of Washington coins that have surprised collectors and shocked the world with their unbelievable values. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, honoring the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. What began as a simple tribute soon became one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. But here's where things get fascinating. Not all quarters are created equal. Over the decades, small differences like mint marks, metal compositions, and minting errors have turned ordinary quarters into rare collectibles worth life-changing amounts. Some quarters were struck at the wrong mint. Others have double impressions, off-center designs, or missing details. And those tiny mistakes made them worth a fortune. For example, a few Washington quarters from specific years, like the 1932D, 1932S, or the 1970S, proof quarters struck on a Canadian coin and have fetched tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. And then there are those ultra-rare pieces that collectors call once-in-a-lifetime finds, the kind of coins that reach $1 million values due to their sheer rarity and condition. Throughout this video, we'll reveal the exact years, mint marks, and errors that make these Washington quarters so valuable. So keep watching carefully, because you might discover that one of these rare treasures is already sitting in your own collection, waiting to make you the next lucky coin owner to hit the jackpot. Now we will talk about one of the most legendary and valuable coins in American history, the 1932D Washington quarter. This coin is not just rare. It's a piece of history that marks the very beginning of the Washington quarter series. It was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birth anniversary of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was meant to be temporary, but it became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently, and it's still being produced today, almost a century later. But among all the Washington quarters ever minted, the 1932D stands out as one of the most valuable. Why? Because of its extremely low mintage. In that year, the Denver Mint produced only 436 and 800 coins, making it one of the smallest mintages in the entire Washington quarter series. To put that into perspective, modern quarters are produced in the hundreds of millions each year, so finding one from 1932D in good condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most of these coins went into circulation, used in everyday transactions, and very few were preserved by collectors. That's what makes high-grade examples incredibly rare today. The 1932D Washington quarter in average circulated condition can still be worth $500 to $2,000, but if you happen to own one in uncirculated or mint state, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Graded examples in MS-65 or MS-66 condition have sold for over $80,000, and a few in nearly perfect MS-67 condition have fetched close to $500,000 at auction. To identify this coin, look carefully at the reverse side, just below the eagle. You'll see a small D mint mark, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. The coin is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing about 6.25 grams. Its silver composition already gives it intrinsic value, but its rarity and historical significance are what make collectors pay astonishing amounts for it. Many experts consider the 1932D quarter the holy grail of Washington quarters because it represents the start of an era, a coin that carries both historical symbolism and financial worth. It's also one of the most counterfeited quarters out there, as people sometimes try to add a fake D mint mark to a regular 1932 Philadelphia quarter. So, if you think you have one, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional grading service before celebrating. Stories of people finding this rare coin in old collections, inherited boxes, or forgotten jars keep surfacing even today. Imagine finding a simple 25-cent coin and realizing it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the magic of the 1932D Washington quarter. It's a reminder that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or gemstones. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, right in the palm of your hand. Now we will talk about another legendary coin that stands shoulder to shoulder with the Denver version, the 1932 Washington quarter. This coin is a true symbol of rarity, history, and hidden fortune. Just like the 1932D, this quarter was part of the very first year the Washington quarter was introduced to the public, celebrating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But unlike modern coins that are minted in the hundreds of millions, this one was produced in very limited numbers, making it one of the rarest quarters ever struck by the United States Mint. In 1932, America was going through the Great Depression. People had little money to spend, and coin demand was at an all-time low. Because of that, the San Francisco Mint only produced 408,000 Washington quarters that year. That number may sound big, but in coin collecting terms, it's tiny. That's why collectors around the world consider the 1932 Washington quarter one of the most sought-after pieces in U.S. coin history. At first glance, the 1932 looks like any other silver quarter. It weighs 625 grams and contains 90% silver and 10% copper. But what makes it extraordinary is its mint mark, the small letter S on the reverse side of the coin, just below the eagle. That little letter can make the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth thousands of dollars. Over the years, the value of this coin has climbed to incredible heights. A 1932 in good circulated condition can easily fetch between $300 and $800, while coins in extra fine condition can reach $2,000 to $5,000. But if you happen to find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value skyrockets. A 1932 graded MS65 or higher has been known to sell for $20,000, $50,000, or even more, depending on its luster and preservation. Some pristine examples have crossed the six-figure mark at major coin auctions, shocking even seasoned collectors. What makes the 1932 even more fascinating is its pairing with the 1932D. These two coins, known as the twin rarities, and are often collected together. Having both in top condition is a dream for any numismatist, because they were minted in the same year but in different locations with such low mintages. They hold a special place in the hearts of collectors worldwide. Like the 1932D, the 1932 is also heavily counterfeited. Many people have tried to fake the small S mint mark by altering regular 1932 Philadelphia quarters. That's why, if you ever find one that looks real, it's best to get it verified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentic examples with clear mint marks and sharp details are treasures that can change lives. The 1932 Washington quarter reminds us that even in difficult times like the Great Depression, history was being made in the smallest of forms. So the next time you come across an old quarter, check for that tiny S under the eagle's tail, because you might be holding a priceless piece. Now we will talk about one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in U.S. history, the 1943 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet error. This coin is a masterpiece of mistake, a rare accident that turned an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary treasure worth thousands of dollars. It's a coin that perfectly proves how tiny minting errors can create unbelievable value in the world of numismatics. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to go back to the early 1940s, the time of World War II, the United States. Mint was operating at full speed, producing billions of coins to support the economy and wartime industries. But in the middle of this massive production, a few unexpected mistakes happened. During the minting process, some quarters were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank, or planchet, which is the small disc used to make coins. Normally, quarters from that era were made from 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 625 grams. However, because of the war, the mint was also producing coins for other countries, and a few of those blanks, like those used for foreign coins, accidentally got mixed in with the regular U.S. planchets. One such mistake occurred at the San Francisco Mint in 1943, creating a few Washington quarters that were struck on unusual silver or foreign planchets. These unique coins have different weights, colors, and even sound when dropped, and collectors immediately recognized their distinct look. The 1943 era quarter became one of the most sought-after minting mistakes ever discovered. Its strange metal composition and rarity have pushed its value to incredible levels, depending on its exact type of plancher and condition. This coin has sold for anywhere between $25,000 and $125,000, with some even fetching more when verified by grading companies like PCGS and NGC. What makes it even more interesting is that most people wouldn't even notice something special about it at first glance. It looks like an ordinary silver quarter. But if you pay close attention, you might spot subtle differences in color, thickness, or weight. Experts usually confirm its authenticity through advanced metal testing and precise weight measurement. Every era coin tells a story, and this one tells a story of history, war, and an honest human mistake. Imagine a busy mint worker in 1943, feeding planchers into machines day and night, never realizing that one wrong blank would produce a coin that future generations would treasure forever. For collectors, the 1943 silver plancher era isn't just a coin. It's a piece of American history frozen in silver. It represents a time when the world was at war, when production was rushed, and when even the smallest imperfection could turn into perfection in the eyes of collectors. So, if you ever come across a 1943 Washington quarter, don't ignore it. It might just be one of those rare minting miracles worth a fortune. Now we will talk about one of the most mind-blowing and mysterious minting errors ever discovered. The 1970 proof Washington quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian coin. Yes, you heard that right. This extraordinary coin was literally struck on top of another country's coin, making it one of the rarest and most fascinating mistakes in all of U.S. coinage history. It's a coin that stunned experts, amazed collectors, and proved that even in modern times, unbelievable errors can still happen inside the U.S. Mint. Let's go back to 1970, a time when the San Francisco Mint was producing proof sets, specially made coins with mirror-like finishes, designed for collectors. These proof coins are struck with extreme precision using polished dies, ensuring perfect details and flawless shine. But somehow, during that careful process, a blank Canadian coin from 1941 found its way into the minting equipment. Instead of being discarded, it accidentally got struck with the design of a 1970 Washington quarter. The result was a jaw-dropping combination, a U.S. coin, design imprinted on top of a foreign coin base, carrying traces of both nations' identities on one piece of metal. When this incredible error was discovered, coin experts could hardly believe it. You can still see faint outlines of the Canadian coin's original text and portrait underneath the Washington quarter design, a surreal overlap of two countries and two different eras. This is not just a minting mistake. It's a once-in-a-lifetime accident that bridges American and Canadian history in one single coin. Because it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, the coin carries the S mint mark, located just below Washington's neck. It also has the mirror-like finish typical of proof coins. But the unusual plancher and double imagery make it instantly recognizable to experts. When this coin first surfaced on the collector's market, it caused a sensation. Numismatists and auction houses described it as one of the most dramatic minting errors ever found. Its rarity and strange story drove prices sky high. One of these proof error coins sold for an astonishing $35,000, and today, if another appears, it could easily fetch $40,000 to $50,000 or even more, depending on its preservation and visibility of the Canadian details beneath the U.S. design. What makes this coin even more special is that it proves how even in a highly controlled environment, like a proof mint, accidents can still happen. It also reminds collectors that every coin, even a modern one, can hold mysteries that no one expects. Imagine finding such a coin, a perfect mix of two histories, struck by accident, but now celebrated around the world. That's what makes the 1970s proof quarter struck on a Canadian coin such a legend. It's not just a minting error. It's a historical fusion, a rare piece that unites two nations' coinage in one stunning mistake. So next time when you find such a coin, you might be holding a fortune. Now we will talk about one of the most exciting and talked about discoveries in modern U.S. coinage, the 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter. This coin proves that even in the modern era, when minting technology is highly advanced and precise, tiny errors can still create massive treasures. Released as part of the 50-state quarters program, the Wisconsin quarter quickly became famous, not for its design, but for a mysterious and unexpected flaw that turned ordinary pocket change into a collector's dream. The Wisconsin State Quarter was officially released in 2004, featuring a beautiful design that honored the state's rich agricultural heritage. On the reverse side of the coin, there's a cow, a wheel of cheese, and a stalk of corn, all symbols representing Wisconsin's farming pride. Everything seemed perfectly normal, until sharp-eyed collectors began noticing something unusual. On some of the quarters, there appeared to be an extra leaf on the corn stalk, a small but distinct design feature that wasn't supposed to be there at all. Further investigation revealed two separate varieties of this error: the high leaf and the low leaf versions. In the high leaf variety, the extra leaf curves upward near the corn, while in the low leaf version, it droops downward close to the cheese wheel. These leaves were not part of the original design. They were believed to have been accidentally created during the die polishing process, possibly when mint workers were cleaning or re-engraving the dies. But whether it was an accident or a secret engraving left behind by a mint employee, no one knows for sure. The mystery only added to the excitement, and collectors across the United States started checking every Wisconsin quarter they had. What made the hunt even more thrilling was that these error coins were only found on quarters, struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a small D below Washington's portrait. At first, people didn't realize how valuable these coins were, but soon demand skyrocketed. The high leaf and low leaf Wisconsin quarters began selling for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on condition. In circulated grades, they can sell anywhere between $300 and $600, while uncirculated or mint state examples can bring $1,000 to $5,000. Some rare, perfectly preserved ones graded by PCGS and NGC have sold for over $6,000 at major auctions. The 2004 D Wisconsin Extra Leaf quarter became one of the most talked about coins of the 21st century. It showed that even modern coins, produced with advanced technology, can have their share of mysteries and surprises. What's even more incredible is that these coins were found in regular circulation, in wallets, vending machines, and change jars across America. So the next time you see a Wisconsin quarter, you might be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. And that brings us to the end of our incredible journey through the world of rare and valuable Washington quarters, coins that many people pass by every single day without realizing their hidden worth. From simple pocket change to pieces worth thousands or even millions, these coins remind us of one timeless truth: that real treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold or jewels. Sometimes it hides quietly in your hands, waiting for someone curious enough to notice its story. Each of these coins, the 1932 D quarter, the 1964 D double die, the 1970 S proof quarter, and the 2004 D Wisconsin Extra Leaf quarter, tells a different chapter of American history. Some were born out of accidents at the mint, others through rare designs or mysterious errors. But what they all share is a powerful connection to the past, a story of craftsmanship, human error, and unexpected fortune. Think about it. A small coin worth just 25 cents could secretly be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine finding one in your drawer, an old collection, or even in a handful of loose change. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, curiosity, and the thrill of holding a real piece of history. Every scratch, every design detail, every mint mark has a story to tell. So if you ever come across an old Washington quarter, don't just spend it without looking. Turn it over. Check for that mint mark. Look closely at the design. Because who knows, your next coin might just be the one that changes your life. Before you go, tell me in the comments, which Washington quarter from today's video amazed you the most? Was it the early 1932 D that collectors dream of owning? Or the modern 2004 D Wisconsin with its mysterious extra leaf? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting stories about rare coins and hidden treasures from around the world. Each week, we uncover coins that tell their own stories. Coins that remind us how history, art, and mystery can all fit into something as small as the palm of your hand. Remember, the next big discovery might not be in a museum or an auction house. It could be right in your pocket. So keep your eyes open, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mubashar, signing off, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore another fascinating chapter in the world of rare and valuable coins. Until then, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe the next coin you find will be worth a fortune.